ආයුබෝවන් 2024 ජනාධිපතිවරණය වෙනුවෙන් අපි ඕගනයිස් කරපු ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකක් තමයි time start now. අලුතෙන් එන විශේෂයෙන්ම අලුතෙන් දේශපාලනයට එන අය පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට එන්න කැමති අයට තමන්ගේ කතාව කියන්න ඉඩ හදපු ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකක් තමයි මේක. අද මට හම්බෙනවා නවීද් සංගානි. ආයුබෝවන්. විශේෂම කියන්න ඕන ඔබ වැනි කෙනෙක් දේශපාලනයට එම සම්බන්ධ පුද්ගලිකවම ඇත්තටම සතුටුයි ඉන්න ශේත්‍රයත් එක්කම. ඉතින් නවීට මම ආරාධනා කරනවා කැමති භාෂාවකින් උත්තර දෙන්න. ඔබට පැහැදිලි ප්‍රශ්නය සිංහලෙන් තේරෙනවා කියලා මම දන්නවා. සිංහලෙන් කතා කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. හැබැයි කැමති විදියට කැමති භාෂාවකින් පැහැදිලි කිරීම කරන්න. ඉතින් time start now. ඉතින් පළවෙනි ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි කවුද නවීද් සංගානි කියන්නේ?
Thank you. If you want a background of me, it's a very simple background. I come from a community called Maimans. We, if you go back a few generations, we of course come from North India, parts of North India. So we've been here for a few generations, and our great-grandfather and grandfather were textile merchants. This generation after that, that was my father and my uncles. Moved from textiles to the apparel industry. Mid-80s, late 80s is the time that we started the first garment factory that my dad and my uncle were involved. From there onwards, we moved into different industries. I personally joined the group for a few years, learned the trade, and then moved to different areas and different industries. I've been working for 30 years. I'm still a part of the garment industry, of course, but I've moved to different industries. The export industry is one that I've moved into. That is basically exports of local produce. Okay. There's a range of Sri Lankan products that we export, and the other sector is the tourism sector.
Right. නවීද් තෝරගත්තු මාතෘකාවත් ස්පෙෂලි ස්පෙෂලයි කියන්නේ ටුවරිසම් වල වෙන්න ඕනේ චේන්ජස් සම්බන්ධයෙන් තමයි ගොඩක් නවීද් පෙනී හිටිනවා කියලා කිව්වේ. ඉතින් අපි ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් ප්‍රශ්න ටිකක් අහන්නම්. ඒත් එක්කම මේ මට අහන්න තියෙන පළවෙනි ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි ටුවරිසම් ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකේ නවීද් කරන්න පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ඇවිල්ලා කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන චේන්ජස් මොනවද? මොනවද කොහෙද ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන්නේ?
ප්‍රශ්න ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. චේන්ජස් උත් ඉස්සරහට කෙරෙන්න හුඟක් තියෙනවා. Let me start from the top. The first change, පළවෙනිම change එක කෙරෙන්න ඕන එයාපෝට් එකකින්. අපේ එයාපෝට් එක පොඩි. අපේ කට්ටිය කියනවා මේ එයාපෝට් එකට අපි ගෙන්නන්න පුළුවන් number of tourists තියෙනවා. ගෙන්නන්න ඕන කරන tourist number එක විශාලයි. ඒක නිසා ඉස්සෙල්ලාම එයාපෝට් එක දැනට මම හිතන්නේ මම දන්න තරමට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා 1.6 මිලියන් ගාණක් ටුවරිස්ට්. මේ අවුරුද්දේ ටාගට් එක 2.2 මිලියන් නැත්නම් 2.1 මිලියන්. එන අවුරුද්දේ ටාගට් එක 2.5 මිලියන්. ඊට පස්සේ ඊටත් වැඩි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට එහා අවුරුද්දේ. අපේ එයාපෝට් එකේ කැපැසිටි එක නැහැ. ඒක නිසා අලුත් ටර්මිනල් එක අත්‍යවශ්‍යයි. That is a must. Without the second terminal, we are going to have problems, a lot of problems for tourists. They are going to feel uncomfortable, and that is the first point of contact into this country. When a tourist comes into this country, that's the first point of contact. We have to be able to give them the comfort of Sri Lanka from the start, from the time they land into this country. That is the airport. From there is what they see later. What the hotels, the facilities that we have for them, they will see later, but they have to cross the airport first. So the first point of contact is the airport, and we have to give them the proper guided luxury of coming into this country. So that would be the first thing. The airport would be the first thing. The second terminal, which is much overdue in time, has to come. It has to come immediately. I know it won't come within the next couple of months, but it has to start now for it to be able to be operational in a couple of years. So that's the first. The second would be, in my personal opinion, is the visas.
Okay.
Visas, we had an issue early this year. We saw the repercussions in the second half of this year, and we are still seeing repercussions. We still haven't recovered. Hopefully, we will recover by November. The visas have to be separated, as in the price on the visas have to definitely change. You can't expect tourists to come and spend a large amount of money on visas, because some come alone, some come with families. If you charge them an amount of $75 or $100, if a family of 4 people are coming, it's $400. So that itself is a high cost. And for us, we need people to come in the off season as well. So for them to pay that kind of money and come in the off seasons is not feasible for them, and they won't come, because there are other countries that give facilities of visa free, visa much cheaper. It's the ETA facility, all that. It's much more easier to get visas, much more cheaper to get visas in other countries. So why not do the same thing in this country as well? Because we are looking for the tourism industry to boom. It is one of the backbones of this country. It is a large income source for this country. So we need to put in a lot of different things, right? To start with, like I said, the visas, as far as the price goes, or the fee goes for that matter, we have to not charge anything or give free of charge in off season.
Especially in off season.
Especially in off season, we have to give them free of charge, so that a lot of people will come, because we don't have tourists coming in the off season. To attract that kind of tourists who will go to other countries to come into our country and fill up our rooms, we have to give them that facility. And even in the season, it has to be in the range of $25 to $30. Okay. That is affordable. And I think the treasury will earn more money by giving this facility, because you will have more tourists coming in. And not only them, it's a whole structure, it's a whole cycle. It is not only the treasury that will earn money from the fees. It is the hotelier, to the people working there, to the suppliers, everybody. It's a chain. It's a complete chain. The hotel trade is a complete chain.
What else?
So, and from there onwards, if you move on, transportation. Facilities in transportation have to be given, starting from the airport to Colombo, or from airport to other destinations. There are people who can afford to pay or go in a private taxi. You have to give them facilities to be able to take a bus, or a cheaper mode of transport, which unfortunately we don't have as yet. The tourists have to come, find local buses and get into those buses and come to Colombo, which is not right. If you go to other countries, they have all kinds of facilities. You have the cheaper version, you have the expensive version. You want fanciness, you have luxury cars. You want a cheaper mode of transport, you have the bus service, and you have the train service. Unfortunately, we don't have the train service here. That also is something that needs to be looked into. Then going into the midst of the hotels, there are changes that are needed there as well, starting from hygiene. Hygiene needs to be looked into, and that needs to be given, that the government needs to look into. And it needs to look into all the hotels in one scope, as in you don't look at one hotel and say this is hygienic and this is non-hygienic. Everyone needs to be looked in the same line, so that if there is a problem, that person pays.
මොනවද ගවර්න්මන්ට් එකට ඒ වෙනුවෙන් කරන්න පුළුවන් hygiene?
ඒකට කරන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් තියෙන්නේ, they have to arrange or they have to start a unit. I think they already have that unit which is functioning, but not to the extent of it should function. And ඒක කෙරෙන්න ඕන ඔක්කොමලට, එක්කෙනෙක්ට නෙවෙයි. එතන අපේ ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ, එක පැත්තක නැත්නම් එක්කෙනෙක්ට කෙරෙනවා, එහා පැත්තට ගියාම වෙන විදියට කතා කරලා ඒක කෙරෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයක්. කරනවා නම් හරි විදියට ඔක්කොමලට කෙරෙන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට තමයි අර ස්ටෑන්ඩඩ් එක හරියට මේන්ටේන් වෙන්නේ. Beyond that, the local councils have to sort out the roads. පාරවල් හදන්න ඕනේ, walkways හදන්න ඕනේ, lights තියෙන්න ඕනේ. රාට tourist කෙනෙක්ට එළියට යන්න පුළුවන් කමට lights තියෙන්න ඕනේ. කට්ටිය බයයි එළියට යන්න රාට. රටේ අපේ රට ඇත්තටම safe. හරියටම safe. හැබැයි ඒක ඒගොල්ලන්ට තේරුම් කරලා දෙන්න websites තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒගොල්ලන් ලංකාවට ඇවිල්ලා ඉස්සෙල්ලාම ගන්න මොබයිල් සිම් එකක්. ඒ සිම් එකේ අපේ ගවර්න්මන්ට් එකෙන් දෙන්න පුළුවන් නම් alerts දෙන්න ඕනේ. මේ ඒරියා එකට ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා යන්න එපා. නැත්තම් මෙතන මේ බීච් එකට යන්න එපා. මෙතන සේෆ් නෑ. ඒ වගේ හුඟක් දේවල් පොඩි දේවල්. මේවා ලොකු දේවල් නෙවෙයි. පොඩි දේවල්. මේවා කරන්න බැරි කමක් නෑ. මේවා වලට මේ මිනිස්සු දාලා කරව ගන්න ඕනේ. නැත්තම් ඉස්සරහට එක බෑග් කමෙන්ට් එකක් ගියාම ටූරිස්ට් 5 දෙනෙක් නැත්තම් 10 දෙනෙක් එන්නේ නැතුව ඉන්නවා. ඒක රටට හොඳ නැහැ.
Super. Is there anything?
Yes, I think I can add a little more to that. The other things would be cleaning of the beaches. Beach has to be clean. We are an island. We are a beautiful island that needs to be cleaned. So if the local authorities are unable to do it, give it to the private sector. Because anyway, the hotels pay private people to come and clean the beach. Or they have people privately in their hotels to daily clean the beach. So it is better that the hotelier pays a certain amount of money to a private company to keep the beach clean, hygienic, clean. So that when the families or the foreigners or whoever it is comes, they see a very clean beach. And they keep coming. I mean, that comment will go back a long way. Because when you say come to Sri Lanka, there are certain people in Europe or in the States who you don't even know where Sri Lanka is. That's sad. Being a touristic destination, we are still not known at times. So for that message to go there, it has to go from somebody who has been here. Now, somebody who comes here and says the beaches were dirty, they're not going to come back. Nor is that person, the new person.
I Navaid Sangani politics වලට ආවේ.
Navaid Sangani politics වලට ආවේ change එකක් කරන්න. For a change. That would be my simplest answer. Just to give you a bit of a detailed answer. We have been voting for the same people over and over again. Same people have been going into parliament over and over again in the past so many elections. The only thing that has changed is either their symbol or their party. That's it.
Yes.
So that is a fact. So people like me or my team for that matter, if you go through the profiles of my team, the people who are contesting, they come from backgrounds, proper backgrounds, experience, a lot of experience, rich in experience in different industries, in different positions, in different. Everything is different basically. Let's keep it to that. They come from private sector, of course. Some of them come from the public sector as well, but they come with a lot of experience, with rich experience, and that is what you need now for this country. You need a new set of politicians in parliament who are experienced in their own line of work, who can come and make a change, who are able to handle issues in a more in a manner that actually needs to be handled, not in the old political manner. It has to be handled in a more genuine way, in a more wanting way, and only then we will see a proper change. So that's one of the reasons I have come in. I have a lot of experience. I don't have political experience. I'm sure you would come to that question as well, so I'll answer that for you in advance. I don't have political experience. I don't come from a political background. We have already seen people coming from political backgrounds and political experience, what they have done to this country. So my personal opinion for a new politician or a politician like me or someone who has got into politics, I would vote for myself because I want to see a new face. I want to see a person who's educated, who has a background, who has what would I say, who has
Experience.
Lots of experience in the private sector, in different lines of work, who could put that experience into the parliament, into the system, rather than taking that experience overseas and giving it to somebody else or doing some good to that country. That's what has been happening in this country, unfortunately. A lot of experienced people have left the country. So we want the experienced people to remain in the country and to do or to put their experience to use for this country. This is our country. We've been born and bred here. we want to be able to give back to the country what the country has given to us. We are today what we are thanks to this beautiful country.
බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා මේ පාර පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ඉන්න ලැබේවා කියලා. ඉතින් සුබ පැතුම්.
Thank you so much.